Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Musa Faki, the Chairperson of the AU, who has really captured all the protocols here that I wish to adopt. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this opportunity to welcome you all to Kisumu County and Kisumu City to join my brother, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, the governor of this great county, who has welcomed you here and with whom I'm host. And I want to say that I have a very long speech here, but my role really was just to welcome you all and to welcome His Excellency the President to speak to you. But I noticed when Maimuna was speaking, there was a lot of excitement when she talked about the possibility of having a woman president someday. And my guest seated next to me were asking me, why are people so excited in Kenya? So I was saying, if you are Kenyan, I would have asked you, are you strangers in Jerusalem? Because yesterday something historical happened in our country. And Your Excellency Musa Faki, you are Special Envoy for Infrastructure, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, nominated a woman known as Martha Karua to be the next Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. That informs you why there's so much excitement in Kenya today. Then, apart from Maimuna, as she was speaking, I noticed a lot of excitement again when Amina Mohammed, Her Excellency, the Deputy Secretary General, spoke about intermediary cities and urban centers being the engines of economic transformation of Africa, of growing Africa from the bottom up. So someone asked me, why are people excited about that? Because we have an election coming around the corner. When you speak about bottom up, it might mean something very different. But I don't think that is what Amina Mohammed meant. The true meaning of bottom up is devolution. It's bringing more resources down to our counties, to our governments, and turning them into engines of socioeconomic transformation of our country and our counties. And under the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta, that is what we have been doing in Kenya for the last 10 years. And we want to welcome you so that we share with you our experience in devolution and in decentralization. And that is what we'll be doing in the course of today. But I just wanted to also welcome you to Kisumu as a city that has great history. Many of you, maybe for the first time, you are coming to this beautiful lakeside city and you're wondering where it has been all this time. Because in Africa, we've been looking at our capital cities. Kenya was honored in 2006 to host Africities, but that was in Nairobi. And we've been to the other capitals of Africa where we've held Africities, and we're very grateful to UCLGA for giving us the opportunity as Kenya, as Kisumu with Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, to be the first intermediary city in Africa to host Africities. The scripture said, who much is given, much is expected. Indeed, you put your faith in us, but you also gave us a lot of responsibility. And we know much is expected of us. And I must thank all those we've worked together to ensure that this day is a success. And I must thank, starting with Professor Nyong'o and his team. You have done well, Prof. If I was a voter in Kisumu, I would have said, teach tire tano tena. You have done extremely well. But my colleagues in national government, in cabinet, I must thank you, because we have walked a long way under the leadership of our president to make this a success. And I want to single out my colleague C.S. Macharia, with whom we have worked, with his PSs in charge of housing, PS Hinga, with PSs in charge of roads, PSs in charge of transport to expand our airport here, to do our roads, and to make this day a success. I must also thank my PS, Korir. I think he's here with us. We've done a wonderful, wonderful job with our devolution team to make this day a success. And before I invite His Excellency the President, just to give a little history about Kisumu. This city has a great history, like other cities in Africa, in Europe, and across the world. It has a long history that stretches back to the Victorian era. We had two Englishmen who came here in 1858, Speke and Barton. And they said they had discovered Lake Victoria. They named it after their queen. Before they came, the community living here, the Luo community, called Lake Victoria Namlolwe. The Luyas lived here, they called it Enyanja ya Walude. When you go to the Rwandese, they call the lake Nyanza. But Speke and Barton came and said they were the first people to discover Lake Victoria, and they named it after their queen. That is how Lake Victoria came to be. The second thing that happened was the British now came in to open up the hinterland of Africa to connect the port of Mombasa and the port of Kisumu. And this is one lesson we want to take away as Africa, the importance of infrastructure in developing intermediary cities, in growing intermediary cities. Indeed, Kisumu grew as an accident, and it came out of a huge debate in the British Parliament when Henry Loberloch called this a gigantic folly. Building a train from Mombasa to Kisumu looked like an impossibility then. In 1896 they started, and it was opposed by the British Parliament, but it went on through a lot of challenges. Winston Churchill came and said this was not a folly. In fact, it was a brilliant conception, and it was an art of the British tradition of muddling through things. So they muddled through a lot of politics back home to get on the ground. There were lions who were man-eaters in Savo. They muddled through the Savo. They had tsetse attacks, a lot of disease. They muddled through it. They went through ravines, valleys, faced the Maasai warriors, very fierce Nandi warriors. But they muddled through it, and by 1901, they arrived here in Kisumu. It was then called Port Florence. As we speak today, this is one of the most transformative infrastructure developments in Africa. We are happy that after our president took over, we have continued to invest as national government in this infrastructure. We have a standard gauge railway that has been built during this administration, all the way from Mombasa. It's now in Naivasha. It will come to Kisumu. We know that it was not easy to do that, but again, we are transforming this city because of that infrastructure. Investing in ports, as Musa Faki has said, it's about ports, it's about roads, it's about the rail, it's about water infrastructure. And this is one lesson we want to take away as we look at the future of intermediary cities in our continent to transform it. So I want to thank you. There will be many sessions where we want to share experiences about our journey in devolution, about the success of decentralization in this country. There are many breakaway sessions, there are many delegations that we have engaged. Please take your time, let us engage, share experiences, and learn from each other. Let us also look at how we can look at the challenges facing us, how we can overcome these challenges, and how we can address the vulnerabilities that are going to face our populations as they move into their cities. Experts are saying by 2050, we'll have over 60% of our populations in these intermediary cities. So we must prepare for that. And the role of intermediary cities in realization of the AU Agenda 2063 and the EU Agenda 2030 is at the center of our discussions today. Please let us share, but also take time to enjoy the beautiful lake out there, Lake Victoria. It's the biggest tropical lake in Africa, and the second largest freshwater lake in the world after Lake Superior. Take your time and enjoy our hospitality, and it's now my pleasure and honor to invite His Excellency the President to address us. Welcome, Your Excellency.